Hey, everybody, welcome to this episode of Think Business Live. I'm looking forward to having Don Connors back. Don, it's great to always connect with you. You run a branch, Mortgage One. You're a senior loan officer. So always enjoy talking to you about what's going on in the market, what's going on with you and the growth of your business. I know you have 2 locations in Shelby and Oxford. Today I checked this morning and the Treasury was at, I think, 4.26 as we record this on, October 24th, 4.2 as of right now, October 24th, 2022. And I think so many people are wondering, what's going on in the housing market? What's going on with interest rates? What's your kind of state of the state right now, Dawn?
Well, thank you so much for having me today. Yeah. I'm very excited to be here.
Thanks.
And I appreciate you. Thank you. So, yes, interest rates are spiking up quite quickly. What we found that the going rate was at the beginning of this year in 2022, just 10 months ago, the interest rate was at 2.875, and now it's hovering at 7%. So to have a doubling of interest rates is a little bit concerning, to say the least. I think the biggest concern would be the cost of housing increases and how people feel about that with the price of gas and the price of groceries and how they're able to afford it all. What we have found is, number one, housing has kept up with people's growth of their income. So that is encouraging. In fact, their income growth has superseded the prices of the housing market and the interest rate increases by 3%.
Yeah.
So that part is good, but at some point it's got to kind of culminate. And I think that's what we're seeing a little bit right now, is a little bit of a culmination or leveling off, where we're seeing that interest rates have gone up. The 50-year average is 7.62%. So we haven't hit that 50-year average yet, but we're getting closer and closer to it. While that's happening, I think that you're seeing homes on market a little longer. Our average on home on market was 2 to 3 weeks prior to the last 30 days. And now the average home on market is 30 to 45 days. So we're seeing some leveling off where it's a little bit more of an even market time. And even marketing would be 60 to 90 days on market.
Yeah.
60 to 90.
Yeah. So interesting, 50-year average, 7.62%. I bet people wish they knew that when we were in the twos, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I always like the saying, better to be a year early than a day late. So, I think sometimes, if people didn't take advantage of it. Let's talk about business. As a business person, you are always in growth mode. I met you and we were in a networking group together. And, you're always in growth mode, and I'm always getting emails from you on lunch and learns. And I get kind of updated letters on what's going on in your world. You do a lot of marketing, what feels like a lot of custom one-on-one marketing as as a reach out. It feels very personal. Talk a little bit about, as we are moving into this adjusting market, over the next, who knows how many months or years, how will you continue to market yourself?
Yeah, I think for one, relationship marketing is where I like to spend my time. I really enjoy it. And that could be in terms of small networking groups. It could also be in terms of my letter of the heart, my pink mailing that I send out. What I have been doing is semi-annual calls to my clients. I'll do a call. I'll do a call 3 times a year. I'll do a birthday phone call, a client on their anniversary, their loan mortgage anniversary, and then a random call at about 6 months in, checking in on them, and usually at the end of summer, kind of getting a shout out from them on what they did over the summer, what I've done over the summer, and just a connection point. So 3 times a year, making connections with my clients. And then I also do client appreciation events. A lot of different companies do that, where they maybe like Easter bunny, Easter egg hunts, or breakfast with Santa, things like that.
Yeah.
Movie days.
Yeah, those are fun. And I remember seeing on social media, I don't know if I ever talked to you about this, but I saw on social media, I think that you bought like 1,000 Bibles and were giving them away.
Yes.
Right. What was that? How did that work?
Well,
I was like a picture of you. I think it was your son, like shipping, like taking into the garage or the
right.
basement. Yeah,
I felt led to buy 500 Bibles. So I told my husband, honey, I'm going to be buying 500 Bibles. And I'm a typical woman, always looking for a deal, right? So I found a deal on 1,000 Bibles, and it was like $2 and some odd cents if I would buy 1,000 of them. So I'm like, well, I'll get 1,000 of them. So instead, I bought 1,000 Bibles, and they're about 888 are in our basement right now. And so people will ask me, what's your plans with those 1,000 Bibles? I'm like, I don't know, but God for sure has a plan for 500 of them. And so
yeah.
I'll have to figure out the other
The
500.
other 500. Yeah, yeah.
So
Well,
I get requests for them.
yeah, that's great. Well, let's talk about that. You're talking about being led, but just talking about the art of, and I love what you shared about relationship building and things of that nature. But just the art of, to me, business is art and science, and they, I think they go hand in hand, right? When there's art, you got to balance it with some data, and when there's the science, you got to balance it with intuition and gut. And so how do you tap into and listen to your intuition, and then execute, like in your story that you just shared, but in other avenues of your business as well?
That is such a great question, John. And that was not scripted. That is such a brilliant question.
I script no questions. Yeah.
So good. So, as you get a little older, you start hearing your gut, or I call it my Holy Spirit. I'm a born again Christian. So I start listening to that person inside of me, and then I see the results of me not listening to it. So for example, about 5 years ago, quickly, I'll share the story. I had a client that was pitting me against another loan officer, and I just didn't feel like it was going to be I had that little nudge inside of me that said, tell that client that you're not going to work with them. Tell that client you're not going to work with them. And I've not done that in the past. And every single time I've not done that, I've regretted it.
Yeah.
Well, I told this client, Amelia, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to work with you. I think you're better suited with that other loan officer that you've been talking with. And, it's kind of like the takeaway all of a sudden. And then oh no, I want to work with you. I was going to go with you, And so I'm like, no, I just don't think we're going to be suited together. I didn't want to back down on this, because I wanted to trust my gut, my intuition. So it turned out she ended up going with the other lender based on that conversation, and that appraisal came in $45,000 short. And I'm sure that it's probably sucked him dry of 20, 30 hours in unnecessary, like just trauma. And she didn't end up selling. She didn't end up doing anything. But I was so grateful, because it allowed me to focus and to work with other clients in that time horizon that I would have been snowballed into that drama. Yeah. So I was really grateful for that.
Good. I love that. And so I agree. I think some of the times I have not listened to my gut and worked with someone. There was one person that had called me, and I remember I said, you know what, I'm not a fit to coach you. I just don't think it's going to work out. I could just tell it was a particular person who wanted to coach me wasn't coachable, and they were like stalking me on text and email and like begging. I kept on saying no. And then I did, and it was fine. But after one session, they were like, I'm not doing it. It's like, right. Because I work with clients for years and years and years. And I know it's just not, you just know, and I should have stuck to my gut. And the ones that I have stuck with my gut, I feel like I always made the right decision. So I appreciate you sharing that story.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, trusting your gut. Business coaching is what I do for a career. I think that, we all have mentors in our lives too. I have many, I know you have many. What has helped you along the way as far as mentorship and, those helping you kind of get to your gut?
Coaching. I think by having a coach, it has been probably my number one best move. Aside from hiring my mother to be my assistant about 21 years ago, that was also a good move, because it really helped me get beyond just me controlling, doing everything myself, and starting to leverage my time. Hiring a coach was just someone just like you, John, was just instrumental in my business. And it really helped me see beyond myself and beyond my own limitations of my business.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, it's all about, to me, coaching is all about the nuances. I mean, my business coaches in the past. It's just a lens of nuance that can make such a big impact. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you ready for a quick speed round, Dawn?
Let's do it.
All right. Since we've last talked, a book that's had the biggest impact on you.
Oh, Shackleton's Great Adventures, called Endurance. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it sounds good. Best piece of wisdom your mom ever gave you? She's been assistant for 21 years, so we'll stick to your mom.
Okay, I was working at Z-Bart, and my mom was like, Dawn, you need to become a financial advisor. You help us with our finances and investing. You help your sisters with their budgets. What are you doing working at a rust proofing place? Get into financial advising. And then I joined the mortgage business.
That's great. That's great. Finish the sentence. One thing everybody needs to do to grow their relationship capital with prospects and clients is?
Spend time getting to know others and investing in them.
Yeah.
Give more than you take.
Yeah. Dawn, this is great. I always enjoy connecting with you. Think community. As you know, I'm a business coach. I work with successful people who are stuck. I get them unstuck. And I love this podcast platform because we can have guests like Dawn on who share information that can also help you get unstuck. I'll extract one thing. You said many that I thought were really strong points. But one in particular is pay attention to the relationship marketing that you're doing. And we are in a market that is adjusting right now. And it is important to stay consistent with the relationship marketing and don't go backwards. Don't go to the sidelines. If anything, do more. So I appreciate you highlighting that, Dawn. Tell everybody who your ideal clients are and how they can connect with you.
My ideal client is a person looking to refinance their home or buy a 1 to 4 family unit house, whether it's for themselves, for their parents who are aging, or as an investment property. It's also real estate agents and CPAs are a great connection for me because I can work with their clients.
It's great. It's great. And how can they connect with you, Dawn?
So you can call or text me at 586-946-3080, 946-3080.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Dawn, thanks so much. Appreciate it. And Think Community, if you want to talk about any coaching or any of my coaching online courses or custom one-on-one training keynotes, you can reach me at johndwoskin.com. Dawn, always great to see you. Appreciate all your wisdom today. Thanks so much.
It's an honor. Appreciate you.
Thanks. Appreciate you.
Bye.